And the next fight is Sam Hughes versus Istela Nunes. I am picking Istela Nunes to win this fight, but it's definitely like worth noting that this is a winnable fight for Sam Hughes. She is an underdog and I don't expect her to win, but Sam Hughes potentially could find some success here because Istela Nunes really does only have a good stand-up base. She doesn't have the greatest ground game really, but she does have a very good Muay Thai base, which is why I'm kind of opening this up here. She's a two-time world champion and Muay Thai 54 fights, 50 wins. So he's got a great Muay Thai background, but I think that if Sam Hughes really wanted to win this fight, she would have to lean on some wrestling, because Istela Nunes, she looked good on the feet, definitely against Ariana Carnelossi, but she doesn't have the greatest defensive grappling, and Sam Nunes she does have some sort of wrestling game, and if she really wants to win, she's going to have to pressure Istela Nunes to try and get her to the ground. That's the way that Sam Hughes wins the fight. But Istela Nunes, if she keeps the fight on the feet, I'm really expecting her to put on a striking clinic over Sam Hughes and a potential TKO. But yeah, I'm picking Istela Nunes. Sam Hughes, she got called up to the UFC, but she's kind of shown, unfortunately for her, she's kind of proven that she may not be quite the level of the UFC competition that we already have. Like, she lost to Loma Lookboonmee, who was a decent prospect in her own right. She lost to Luana Ponero, who was also a great prospect, but she got TKO'd by Tisha Torres, who was in that top 15 at the moment. So, yeah, as for this fight, though, I think Istela Nunes, she's a weird fighter. She took like a decent time off between the one fight and the UFC fight, and essentially I found out because USADA pinged her for something there. So she had to take 3 years off, but she's not 30 years old yet. She still does have time to get a couple of good wins in the UFC. I think it probably does start with Sam Hughes. Sam Hughes could find success with the wrestling, but Istela Nunes with a striking background, I'm going to trust that. I'm going to go Istela Nunes by decision or a TKO. Sam Hughes, though, I mean, if she really wants to win, she's gonna have to use a ground-based sort of a game plan. She's really gonna have to go for the takedowns. Ignore my computer deciding to just completely freeze itself, and yeah, that's it. I'm picking Istela Nunes by decision.